Hello everyone, welcome to the Engineering Project YouTube channel. My name is Shahid, and in this video I am going to explain you how identity management system works in ASP.NET Core application. In the last video we have integrated that into our project, but it's time to understand that how it actually works. We have utilized the authorize filter. We need to understand that how it's worked. We need to understand the startup, how it does work. We need to understand the table structure in the back end of the database. We need to understand what is the back-to-back chain of actions trigger whenever someone try to access your application. How does role created, how does user created, how the identity management make your life easier regarding the user management system, regarding the roles management, and how you can create your custom permissions, you can implement policies, and you can do other stuff also. It's totally depend upon your requirement what actually kind of user management system you are going to develop that, because you can use OAuth, you can use 2FA, you can use one-click sign-on, and any other standard security login system. You can integrate that easily with identity provided by the Microsoft for ASP.NET Core, MVC, and .NET Framework. Identity is a one-stop solution not only for the ASP.NET Core, but it's also available for Windows Phone, WPF, Xamarin, and other .NET services. Even that you can utilize with Mac.NET, which is the framework for the Mac desktop application development via C# in Visual Studio 2019. So it's totally depend upon what actually want to you develop and what are your actual requirements. Based on that you can select the identity management and expand that and scale up to your requirements. Let's see in this video. So this is our project and this is the database of the project. So first of all, let's go to the startup file, and here we have configure service. In this configure service we have configured the identity user and identity role. This identity user is a wrapper class which we have created so that whenever we need to enhance or scale our current identity we can do that. So it's really simple. We just inherit this class from base class, which is identity user, and we have added a name field in the identity user with the help of application user, which is the wrapper class. So you can't update the base class directly. You need to create an object, and then with that object you can update the main class. So here we have the object and here we have the main class for the roles. So we have integrated the users and the roles, and we can work to scale user and role in our application. Right after this, below we have use authentication, which indicates that whatever the user try to access the application where authorized or authenticate filter is used, that will be validated first and then the access is provided. So if we remove this, any unauthorized user can also utilize the application. So this works with the authorized filter which we have applied on pages controller. Authorize. What actually happened when someone try to access your application, like here you have a browser and someone try to access this application, like someone hit HTTP, then this application sent the request to controller, which is this. So we have the mid layer which is known as route. Okay, so the route actually define what to do. If we go to a place which known as the startup. There you will found the route information, and we have default selected the route as the home or the dashboard. So the user access goes to the app goes to the route goes to the controller. Now controller send this request to authorize filter to validate that is the user who trying to access the application is valid or not. This authorized filter behind the scene you use identity to check that is the current login user is authentic or not. In that thing this request goes to database and validate the password and email. If that matches, then the authorized filter return true. In the case of true, the below functions get executed. So this is the whole chain of functions, and if the results are false and there is no result, then this automatically goes to the login page, which is a default set in the startup. And this is the simple thing we have. Now see, in the startup, here we have the routes which we have defined. These are the routes, and this is the default login page. It's redirected to this page if the authentication get failed. Now this is just the scenario of authorize the user, identity user, and authorize filter. Now for example, you want to add a user into the application manually. How you can do that? You will go to login.cs HTML, and here you will found a model, login model. In the login model there is input of the login. This thing is used for the login system. The same thing is available as register. Just slightly changes are there, like we have variable of user application or application user, and this is the wrapper class of the base class, which is identity user. Now what happened in the registration, you will fill the information like email or user and password, either email, either username or and password, and that information get populated in this object input model, and that object is posted on this request on post async. Here you can see we have created an object of application user and utilizing the data which is sent from the UI in a model, and create this object of the wrapper class and pass this wrapper class in user manager. Don't worry about this screen. This screen is automatically generated. All the code is automatically generated with the help of identity and entity management system. So we don't need to be worried about this. I'm just explaining you how actually it's work. If you go to user manager, so we have 4 classes which are really essential to work with identity and entity. The first is the identity object for the user, then identity object for the role. Same as this, we have identity object for role, which is identity role. Then we have the login manager, which is sign-in manager. Then we have user manager. Okay, so the user manager contain all the information of the user available within the application. So how we get this information? This variable and this structure is mapped with ASP.NET users. Right click, select all, and it will query all the information available in the database. Right now there is no user available. If there is any user, that comes to this object. Now sign-in manager allow to generate your password, update your password, create your password, give you the login user information. For example, there are thousands of users you have into your website, but only 10 are logged right now in real-time scenario, so it will provide you the information of that 10 users. Now you can see when you post this object here and the password which you have created, this password is automatically get encrypted and saved as encrypted one, and this query will create a new user in this table, which is ASP.NET user, and this will return result of success. If it's success, it will send you the email to confirm the information. If you have deployed this and you have configuration in your system, only then this email is gets sent, else this email will not get sent. Until user will not confirm his or her email, and the code which is available in that will be pasted in this screen, which is generated. This screen is generated into the email. You have that link. You just need to click and confirm your email. Only then the email confirm variable, which is email confirmed, is a boolean which gets true. If this is true, only then you can log in into the application with the help of identity. Without that, you can't log in into the system. So this is the registration and the process of email verification. In debugging and development case, you can manually add email confirmed as true if you don't have the service of email. Even that, if you have a VPS, you can use SMTP, which is this. But if you don't have that, you have something else or any hosting, you need to make sure that your code is compliant with the hosting structure, because if you are using Azure doesn't support the SMTP in app servers, but it supports that with the help of virtual machine. So it's depend upon the environment on which you have developed this. So in this thing, the user is created, and in this thing the created user get login. So here you can see when you try to log in into the application, the request comes here. It's sent the email, password, remember me option, and if it's true, then it's mean you are already logged in. If it's not true, it will let you know what is the actually error you have. So you don't need to be worried about this system. It will managing itself automatically. A lot of think tankers work on this to make it mature, and it is a mature and bug-free product. Now this is the step of the login, and we have discussed registration and login. Now for example, you want to get the information of any user. For example, you want to get the information of current user. So you will use user manager if there is available. So user manager is available in the registration. So I'm going to use that. For example, I want to get the current user information. User manager, then we have a class of users. It will give you all the users within the application. And if I will go to users or user dot, okay, you can use this. or you can even that you can apply link on this dot where, and I have to add the link structure. Now it will ask me about the queryable object, which is not allowed here, and I have to utilize the system link like x.id is equal to something dot first and default, and it will return you the first object which match the ID. So I am querying the database of user management table in entity management system or entity framework. So it will return me the current user, the user which I have required by the ID. If you want to get the current user, you can use identity dot user, or you can use user manager dot. Okay, so identity is not available here. Okay, but yeah, there is user dot identity dot name. So this line will provide you the name of logged user. If I get logged, whatever my name is, that will be available here, and you can also access the ID of the user, or is the user is authenticated or not. So I am getting the list of current user, and in the previous we have seen that a list of a particular or object of the particular user with the reference of his ID. Now for example, you want to get a specific user into the specific role, or the best part is that if you want to generate role, the process is same as you are generating the user, but the difference is that you need to create a role manager. How you can create that role manager? Instead of the user, just replace with role and identity role. Now this role manager will provide you the information of the role. So same is the case. I will copy this. I will use this as role. Results role, identity role, and in the identity role I have the name only. For example, you want to create a role for admin, and now you will push that into this and underscore role manager, and that's the simplest way you can generate a role. For example, you want to fetch the information of the particular role, it will be same as a user, and if you want to do the information of all the user in the particular role, for example you want all the admins, so you can use role manager dot get role name. Okay, you can use user manager dot get role users in role lacing. So you will add just the name of the role here, and it will return you all the users who have relationship with admin or have a role admin. Now moving forward to the database structure, so there are 8 to 9 tables created to maintain identity, the user, which contain the information of the user, the security tokens available in this table, the role relation here, the role permissions here, and user permissions in this, and the actual role is available here. And these are combinational of identity and work together to support the user management system. So now we have a confirmed knowledge how to generate user, generate role, and if you want to do the claims, you can also do that with the help of property claim, but that's a part of a permission system, not the security module. So in the security module, we are just covering the user management, role management, how we can perform the CRUD operations on them, and how we can utilize them into the application, how the authentication and authorization worked.